Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us as we dive into the exciting world of AI-driven project management. We stand at the brink of the fourth major paradigm shift in technology. From the early PC era to the rise of the internet and mobile computing, each shift has transformed our world. But the revolution that we are experiencing now with AI might be the most significant yet. With AI at center, we now have the capabilities of reasoning, planning, memory, and context through speech, text, video interfaces. This isn't about new features, it's about fundamentally transforming user experiences. From enhancing the productivity of individuals and small businesses to revolutionary outcomes in health and education, AI's potential is immense. Today, we explore how this technology is not just an evolution, but can cause a revolution that can redefine economic landscapes and societal structures across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Upendra Giri, who stands amongst the elite as the only 1,346 professionals worldwide to hold the prestigious PfMP certification from the Project Management Institute. With an impressive career spanning over 30 years, Mr. Giri has collaborated with multinational giants, including NASA, Microsoft, Kaiser, and Airtel, bringing innovative project management solutions to complex and high-stake environments. In recognition of his exceptional contribution to our field, Mr. Giri was the youngest and the only Indian to receive the prestigious Eric Jennett Award for outstanding contribution to the field of project management, an honor bestowed during PMI's 40th anniversary. We are privileged to have him speak here today, and I'm also going to mention one very important line which I think about him. There are people around the world who think differently, but this person is the one who just doesn't think differently, but he's someone who is out there to create a difference in the world. I'm just going to play one video, which is going to make you realize what kind of impact he has had on the world.
In the heart of an Indian village, where simplicity and wisdom coexist, a remarkable journey of transformation began. Guided by the timeless teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, Upendra Giri embraced a simple truth: you become what you believe. The city brought new challenges, but Upendra's humility and compassion remained unwavering. Inspired by an engineer who dared to dream, Upendra dreamt big, whispering to his heart, "No dream is too vast." With this conviction as his guiding light, he pursued environmental engineering. Him to Lehigh University in the USA.
IIT क्षेत्र में कई चीजों की जरूरत के एहसास ने उन्हें सन 2002 में कैलिफोर्निया में एंटरप्रेन्योर की दुनिया में कदम जमाने का अवसर दिया। यहाँ उनका काम ऊंचाइयों की मंजिलें तय करता जा रहा था। तभी एक सोच ने उन्हें भारत में अपने काम को बढ़ाने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया। आज एस्ट्रोविक किस शिखर पर है?
The Eric Jennett Project Management Excellence Award recognizes an individual who makes an outstanding contribution to the project management profession. Mr. Upendra Giri has been instrumental in laying down the foundation for project management practices in India.
And Upendra is right when he said, having less is a bigger challenge. Having it all is no challenge.
Upendra Giri is not just a dreamer, he's a humble yet determined doer. In a world with 7 billion dreams, where every heartbeat resonates with the spirit of our precious Earth, as Upendra unveils Earthbound, he invites us to remember that, with one small act, we can protect our shared future in harmony with the vision of one Earth, one family, one future.
उसमें केवल यही अकेले नहीं कर सकेंगे इसको जब तक हम सब एक साथ नहीं मिलेंगे।
Let's welcome Mr. Upendra Giri. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shahrukh. Thank you very much. The people who put this video together, it was at a time when I was launching the book called Earthbound. A lot of people asked me, what is this book about? So I will give some detail over as we go through the journey. But let me just put the context why we are here and what we are planning on doing. This is a very important day for us, and especially people asked me over the call. I got a call from Nairobi from a friend called Paddy, and he said, Paddy, Upendra, what you're up to these days? And your first evening, we were blessed to have you in Nairobi to help people, especially Airtel, for the digital transformation journey way back in 2010, 2011, 12, So let me just begin by sharing that God had been kind, I've been blessed. And I came to Silicon Valley from Pennsylvania. It was in year 1999. And most of the company, if you remember, most companies were struggling on a biggest program for the world, and that was Y2K for most companies. Before that, I used to be a typical traditional civil engineer working for a NASA project, and it was environmental remediation program for $500 million. I used to be a project analyst at that given point of time. And this company reached out to me, one of the biggest healthcare company in Silicon Valley and worldwide. And they were looking at, how could I be of help for helping them on rolling out this program. They were done about 50% of work in 4.5 years, 50% was still remaining. So, and I said to these people, hey guys, I don't come from technology background. What could I do, especially for such a mega program? So they said, you know what, we need somebody who could think out of the box. And really that worked. And I was able to help them rolling out this program. Around the same time, if you recall, Microsoft was going through the transition. Microsoft was looking at, client server technology was introduced. And of course, they were looking at, how project management profession could be leveraging the power of Project Central. Actually, it used to be Project Central before Microsoft Project EPM actually. So they reached out to us, and we were only 4-people company in Silicon Valley. And that conversation led to a huge transformation. We were able to leverage the power of project management in the tool wise from Microsoft Project, and the concept and framework wise came from PMI. I got my certification in 99, and that certification led to serving more than 100,000 people across different countries, and more than 300 Fortune 1000 companies were serviced during the tenure. And if you see that best in the best, it was given in 2009 by PMI. So I'm thankful to PMI for recognizing the work which we have done together as a team. So thank you very much. And then that inning ended up on a wonderful, so we carried forward that legacy. And then around the same time, it was around year 2010, 11, 12, that's when the world would start looking at, how cloud as a concept could really benefit the world. Since cloud was more on efficiency, optimization, and really how cloud as a concept could really help the world. So Astrovix was chosen, company which I was heading was chosen by Microsoft to help them on the cloud adoption to more than 11,000 schools and colleges. And around the same time, Mr. Sundarlal Bahuguna, the Chipko Andolan movement, who was the leader for that movement, he was trying to save Himalayas, especially from soil erosion, so that deforestation could be stopped. So this idea I kind of looked at closely, because being an environmental engineer, I said, you know what, there's a way to solve this problem. So we kind of clubbed this thing together, and that's what became later on biggest ed tech platform being launched in India on 2nd September 2014. And in this picture, there are a lot of people, but of course I can tell you the people who really brought the biggest revolution in the country. Baiju is Mr. Baiju himself. He's there in the picture because at that given point in time, he's a very small company, but we were the one who really introduced this concept of to mass production for education. So Samsung Smart Learning became the biggest attack in the world at that given point of time. So moving forward, fast forward, I ended up, wrapping up my inning for India and came back to US in 2015. The first thing I did was got my portfolio management certification. And that was eye-opener, because then I could start looking at the world very differently, because now you are 30,000 above the ground level and you try and see which direction the world is moving. And I think that was the wonderful, wonderful experience. And the world started looking at from a business agility standpoint. And I thought that, I need to change for me to bring the change in the world. So I was embarking on a new inning altogether. But during that time, it so happened right after that COVID hit, and we all, the hell broke down on everybody, and a lot of people's belief got changed, and mine also. So we were stuck at home, and Seema and my wife and I, we started looking at what do we do. So we started looking at, how do we share our wisdom, knowledge. And that's when my wife started a company called Uplift Media, a publishing house, and which she runs. She has written more than 8 books, and they all have been international bestseller. So I co-authored 4 books with her, and one of them is Art of Leadership. And that experience was amazing, amazing, amazing. I can tell you, in this book, I wrote The Power of 3 OKRs, experiential learning and the flow. And that is what I'm bringing to the table. Today, we will talk about how we can really leverage the power of human potential plus AI, which is rushed at knocking at the door to live its promise, its potential and possibilities it has for the world. We are definitely moving ahead with this concept also, and this is what I wanted to share with people. This is where I developed this model called Value Now Framework. And through this framework, where you talk about 7 I's, the very first I is to inspire or have intent. And then, of course, once you move from inspiration to getting to ideation stage, and that's where you think of divergent thinking, especially design thinking and concept of which are there for the product management side of things. And of course, when you look at productizing a system, and that's where you need to see whether you have internal capability, you have to get help from outside. This is called on the fulfillment side of things, where do you have capacity or not? Would you have to bring resources from outside or not? So those are the concepts which talked about, especially in ideate from intake process. Then from intake, you go to implementation stage, and in implementation, nothing could be better than PPM. And PPM to me and you is project, program, and portfolio management. So that's where we leverage the power of PPM in implementation. And while you go through this execution exercise, you get wonderful impact creating for these reasons. You conceive this project and these programs and these portfolios, and that's what you create the impact in the world. So from impact creation, that's what the insights which you get. That's the 6th I. That's the 6th I, and then we would be the 6th I, and then we are looking at the 7th I is about continuous improvement. So from intent or inspirations to impact, that's what we have carved out a model which we will be rolling out as time unfolds. The first thing we are rolling out the Learn Ops, and Learn Ops is nothing but Upbuild Academy to unleash the power of artificial intelligence, especially generative AI. That's the attempt. And I will be taking on this one conversation further. And today's agenda is all about artificial intelligence, especially generative AI. The journey never stopped. So during COVID, I went through all these certification on business agility, especially Scale Agile Framework. And you would not believe, even day before yesterday, I just got a recent certification by LinkedIn. And of course, there's so much learning to be done, because those days are gone when you could just get a degree and you're done for the rest of your life. Those days are over. So I don't know whether that's good or bad, but I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. So let me just walk you through what I have for you today. We're gonna talk about because there is a buzz, there's a bug in the system that everybody's talking about. What AI has to do, what generative AI is gonna impact jobs and stuff like that. We're gonna talk about it. the revolution and ubiquity, especially, which is all over the place. I was part of a conference, which I will share very shortly, and the project map practices and generative AI, how does it impact this domain, this profession? So we're gonna definitely talk about this thing, and future-proofing careers, and that's the focus for this session. So if that's okay, I would like to just go through a small assessment, or I'm sure you guys got a poll. Is the poll shared with people? Have been shared? And so I would like to know in the crowd, number one is, how many are the freshers? If you're a fresher, type A, please. If you're a fresher, please type A. Just out of college, because I have something exciting for you guys. People who have less than 5 years of experience, but you have some experience, then type B. Then C would be people between 5 to 10 years of experience, please type C. And if you are 10 years plus experience, then of course D. And those people who have some certification, no matter what, in project management, please type which is your highest level of certification in project management. If you are out there and you want to share this thing with other people, so just type your certification. And if that's possible, you could do it. And I can ask for maybe the highest level certification and which year you got it. So that will give us some idea that who we have in the audience. So folks, I hope you're able to hear me okay. I want to do, because I'm going to, I have so much to share. And the slide decks had been prepared and a lot of work has gone into pipeline. So I would be going literally with the speed of bullet train, but stop me if I go too fast, because my wife says that, you are generally so much energy, and so you need to calm down. And she has given a special, by the way, thank you, PlanView, for giving me this bottle in Singapore, and I'm gonna definitely use it. Guys, this is amazing. I had been part of TIE. TIE is the organization which really transformed me, what I am today. Part of that is the credit goes to TIE, by the way. What is TIE? Just like PMI is for project management. So PMI teaches you how to get things done, execution side of things. But TIE teaches you what is the entrepreneurship. So it's a great organization to be part of. By the way, when we taught 100,000 people, 25,000 people became certified PMPs during that process. But I ensured that every class of mine, 5% people became their own boss. They became entrepreneurs. In fact, in our company, we must have hired more than 500 employees. The 10% people became the CEO of their own company. From a driver to person who was working in the kitchen to the people who were leaders, they all ended up becoming people, of course, who had a spark, because I shared entrepreneurial spirit as I was. It was basically a kind of a lab of producing entrepreneurs. And I'm sure there would be some people on the call also who had been part of my previous company called Astrovix and who became entrepreneur. You can type, yes, you are an entrepreneur from Astrovix. You can share that also right here. Wonderful, guys. This TIE has done so much wonders in my life. I can share with you that AI was all over the place. Generative AI was all over the place. And it really transformed me when I heard the news in November 2022 that this concept is here to have some transformation work to be done in the world. Of course, AI is not new to people, but generative AI is new because that has a different twist to it, because you can teach your systems how to behave and the expected results which you want to get. So simulations can be done much better. So who is the gentleman in the picture in the middle? He's the gentleman who found a company called NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, for last 32 years, he shared his story. He used to wash dishes at Denny's, actually. And from Denny's to dashing personality, that's Jensen Huang, who has created a $2 trillion company. And the growth happened right after ChatGPT was introduced. and generative AI was introduced because that runs on the platform which he has created. It's a hardware company. The biggest valuation rise which happened in the world happens to, the credit goes to NVIDIA. So great, wonderful. The other people, there's a gentleman who's giving a speech. He's from Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh. His name is Jay Chaudhary. He's the gentleman who's the CEO and founder of Zscaler. So Zscaler is another great company which has given so much to the world, especially in the cybersecurity space. And I was talking to him, and we had a very closed door conversation. The company went IPO in 2018. That's when I met him first time, and I was mesmerized with his work, his vision. And he shared that if you were to, you can only do this disruption when you don't listen to people. You don't listen to your customer. Can you believe it? I talked to and share the knowledge coming from Jeff Bezos, who had so much customer obsession. Here we are talking to absolutely different. So I started looking at, Chat GPT especially, and I wanted to understand what these thoughts are actually, because I wanted to understand where these systems which are coming, are they here to confuse us, or they're giving some valuable insights and inputs to us. So I did this research, and especially the research was about, I wanted to know the philosophy of Jay Chaudhary, who is the founder and CEO of Zscaler. I said, what is common between Henry Ford and Jay Chaudhary? So both of them were described by ChatGPT, and there was no correlation. But then I said, I gave an example to ChatGPT. By the way, Mr. Jay Chaudhary said, if I would listen to my customer, I would never invent the company which I'm here for. At the same time, I said, Henry Ford, if he talked to people, how do we reduce the travel time? Then people have suggested him get better horses who could run faster. So when I fed this data to ChatGPT, then ChatGPT came back to me, you know what? These people are who brought revolution in the world. One in automobile industry, especially in production and on the assembly line. The other one brought revolution in the cybersecurity space, and they are known for their revolutionary work. And that's the connection with both of them. So I would be going through this kind of insights which I came through as we get exposed to latest and greatest technology on the planet. There are people in this slide who are chairman of TAI and other people, founders of TAI. I happened to go to Lahore, Pakistan in 2005 actually, because TAI delegation went because Atal Bihari Vajpayee wanted to have these two countries come together, and I organized around that time Project Management Day in Lahore, Pakistan in 2005. I'm sure there would be some people. There would be some people on the call itself that who were part of the sessions, especially in Lahore, Pakistan. All right, guys. There's no other product. There's no other platform. There's no other app actually out there in the world which got such a huge adoption in the world. So you could look at, Chat GPT took only 2 months to get to the first 100 million users. TikTok took 9 months, Instagram 30 months, of course, and Spotify took 55 months, and of course, Uber took 70 months. So can you imagine the power and the widespread wildfire is there, and it's growing like anything. I'm going to talk about, of course, myths. A lot of people are scared, worried, what will happen to their jobs? Of course, the myth first, number one is, will generative AI replace all the jobs on the planet? And a lot of people say, will the technical people will be on the beneficiary of this technology? Or will it diminish human creativity? So I'm going to take one by one and make sure that we understand what we are getting into. So stay back, relax, guys. Generative AI is here to augment human capability, your capability, create new jobs for you. It only streamlines processes, boost emerging industries. For sure, space industry has so much potential. climate situations have so much potential to give so many opportunities worldwide. Generative AI will only benefit high skilled workers. No, it's not true. It works with and collaborates with people at different skill level, and it enhances efficiency, productivity, and creates new job roles. People who are on the webinar, who are benefited with this session, would be the witness, would be testament to this as the future unfolds in front of us. The next thing is, how about the human creativity? To me, I think human creativity just began, because you have a companion. Generative AI complements and amplifies human creative abilities, because there's a symbiotic synergy between these two. Art, design, and innovation will come together to create the impact in the world. Guys, this slide, I can only tell you, in the race of rapid change, because change is inevitable, right? We find our greatest potential. Generative AI is not the end of human creativity. It's just the beginning, unimaginable possibilities. Just like cloud, generative AI is here to stay, live its purpose, its promise, and the potential. And that's what I have a firm belief of it, because I've been talking, interfacing with lots of people last, especially 2 years. It's been amazing, amazing experience so far. Where all this AI transformation is going to touch, of course, the low-hanging fruits are autonomous vehicle. I went through this experience myself when I sat in the Tesla car when I came from India, first time back from India. I felt that Fremont is the place where Tesla was founded. Fremont is the place where Astrovix was founded, by the way. Same place. Astrovix first was founded in the East Coast, where PMI was founded, where Primavera founded. But then in Bay Area, we were in Fremont, actually. Healthcare. Can you imagine the level of precision it can get to? It would remove all sorts of difficult tasks. It will remove all sorts of dull tasks. It will dirty tasks. Imagine when you are doing the surgery and AI or artificial intelligence, and of course generative AI based robots start performing, where the fear of performing on your own, you could be a great doctor, but you can't perform on your own son. But now the robot will be able to help you, assist you, and deliver magical results and magical outcomes. Imagine the space I come from, climate and natural disasters. You could prepare yourself and evacuate from the places which could be giving signals of some calamities, which is predicted, actually. So this could be very powerful application. My favorite one is the learning growth. That's called, and that's what we want to bring, the model of flow model, where you get in the flow, where you enjoy the growth. And I will talk about it, how we are going to use technology in order for you to give the real experience, which was missing, for even better than in-person workshop, which I used to love. I have done 3,000 workshops, and my first workshop, there were 2 people, but my biggest workshop was in Karnataka, Vidhan Sabha, where CM, Deputy CM, and the entire machinery of 400 people. And I know there is a gentleman, Ashish must be there on the call. Ashish was a gentleman who's helped me set up the lab, actually, in Vidhan Sabha. We rolled out, Microsoft EPM rolled out, was done for 400 people. It was amazing, amazing experience. And even Microsoft could not believe their eyes. The level of transformation we showed at that given point of time. That was in year 2007. And it was right after Bombay Blast. So not Bombay Blast, it was right after Hyderabad Blast in stadium. And everybody was skeptical whether this event will happen or not. But Shri Kumar was DGP Karnataka. He was participant in one of my workshops on project management, and he'd been kind enough to get the exposure to even ministerial level people. Wonderful. Guys, personal and workplace productivity. When COVID hit, we were all locked down. Seema and I and our kids and our dog, actually, Cardi, we all participated in Tony Robbins event, by the way. You know, we are a huge fan of Tony, and Seema and I have walked on the fire with him 2 times before that, in 2015 and 2016. And that has been transformational, and it makes you think very differently, you know. So the potential and capability we all of us have, how much of that we really live and produce the outcome based on the potential we all have. The purpose we might have, but we don't know our purpose of why we are on the planet. What I believe in is that you are born at least 2 times. When, of course, you celebrate your birthday, that's your birthday, but when you know why are you on this planet, I think that's the second time around when you are born. So what does this generative AI gonna do? By the way, especially those people who are new to this space, I think I would recommend that you get ChatGPT, download it, and or if you just have Microsoft Explorer, just look for Copilot there. You will start seeing that some outstanding results, and it will start making you feel good, which you could probably see that your productivity, my productivity in last year has grown 3 folds already. This is the similar level of transformation I saw once I got my PMP. I used to make $45 an hour as a project analyst. And then I got my PMP. This was 3 times. You know, I started billing to my customer way back in 1999. And that was right here in Bay Area. So 3 times. That could be, I see the productivity 3 times. My compensation was 3 times our PMP certification, by the way. Excuse me. So AI in project management, market solutions and service, market size enormous. When we started with ChatGPT or generative AI in 2002, the market size was $2.2 billion. Now the market size in 2023 reached to $2.5 billion, but that's the start. But right by the time 2030 hits, you would have 3-fold of the size of the market, which would be available for project management. The biggest growth is happening in some of the market where you are able to leverage the power of artificial intelligence, especially generative AI, for intelligence scheduling, real-time monitoring, and using the power of NLP based communications. And of course, collaboration has gone big time. You know, so I would say that bank, finance services, and insurance are growing at 21.9% using AI in project management solutions. That's incredible. The solution segment dominates the market. You know, I was blown away when I heard the news when the Li.io was bought by Microsoft for $1 billion. It's a company which does OKRs. You know, you set your goals, you deliver those goals and stuff. That solution was bought by Microsoft, and that's when I knew the challenge which we all had in a strategy execution. The challenge is that people say that strategy is only 1%. 99% is alignment. And that proves that value of OKRs in the companies these days. It's going to be amazing journey as the time unfolds. So I can tell you guys that the world is evolving. Don't miss this boat, because I'm going to go deeper into it. And by the way, this slide, especially which these are purple color or dark blue color slides, which PMI did a wonderful job. And watch out, a lot of content would be coming from PMI as the future unfolds. And it's amazing organization. I have been nurtured by this organization for over 25 years. I've been blessed. What experts are saying, So let's understand. Each one of them is saying one thing, that PMI there, of course, doing wonderful stuff, and research standards, they are evolving and all that. But at the same time, they are going hand in hand with the innovations which are happening in the world, especially AI space. They have done a wonderful job. And I wanted to thank PMI leadership for putting all this thing together. And there are some testimonies which are come here. What people are saying that AI or generative AI is here to stay, create a difference, impact in the lives of all those change makers. And then the future looks phenomenal. Future looks so bright. I can't just tell you. So it's going to be amazing future as we, so look at these three people. I will share this content with you once this would be made available. I'll ask the team to make this thing available, but future looks awesome. Okay, so now let's look at, so I wanted to roll this video, and let's see if that video looks, can you hear?
As we adapt to new ways of working and prepare for future disruption, organizations will see a growing need for
You're not able to hear the voice.
Sorry. And I need to do one thing then. What would be okay? Stop sharing and then. Sorry. Okay, yeah. You know how technology can get, right? Oh. So I would make this thing available probably later, you know, because this could be. So I will definitely share this video in a link actually. So we'll definitely share. What's it? No, just a second. Oh yeah. Share sound. Can you hear?
Yeah, it's audible now.
Okay, sorry.
As we adapt to new ways of working and prepare for future disruption, organizations will see a growing need for skilled project managers. The PMI 2022 Jobs Report showcases emerging sectors and trending industries where project leaders can find opportunities to drive growth and innovation in every region of the globe. Countries in the Asia-Pacific region expect their economies to grow in 2022. Meanwhile, talent is in high demand in many countries and industries. While China's economy has experienced a slight slowdown, a number of factors should contribute to increased project activity, including consumer spending increases and China's energy transition plan. Supply chain disruption and rising energy prices, along with rapid digitalization, are driving an increased demand for project professionals in Europe, especially in IT. The current conflict in the region will have long-term humanitarian and economic consequences that will require response. There has been a spike in demand throughout Latin America for project managers, particularly in the technology and manufacturing sectors. Rebounding oil pricing, government investment in high-profile mega-projects, and international events like Expo 2020 Dubai and the 2022 FIFA World Cup promise to reinvigorate the region's economy and need for project managers. The Great Resignation and supply chain problems have put job seekers in high demand in the US and Canada as companies look toward automation and digitization to protect against future disruption. Despite the pandemic, the global demand for products manufactured in South Asia has continued to increase over the past 2 years. As a result, companies are willing to invest more in project managers with strong innovation and leadership skills. Nearly a third of global aid, roughly $32 billion, is spent in Africa, and that's fueling new development jobs across the region, up to 45% of which will need project talent. The demand for project talent is high around the world. Are you ready to take your career to the next level?
So thank you, PMI, for putting this wonderful video together. And we always owe to you. And what does it mean? The exciting times ahead, the crucial role of project managers in AI-driven world. Of course, no matter which discipline you are from engineering, construction, real estate, setting up the power plants, you name it, all sorts of domains, this would be coming as a rescue. So human touch matters. Of course, project managers ensure smooth operations just around AI automation, which is just around the corner, which will lead to abundance of opportunity. There would be just like Y2K around that time, all of a sudden, so many projects popped in. Now the same thing which you can expect, especially just around this time. Project managers leading the change from the front, and which is for enhanced leadership. And then, of course, strategic decision making could be enhanced by project managers by the intervention of technology. Can you guys see my screens? Hello?
Screen is visible, but can you just reshare? I think there was something which is coming on top of the screen.
Can you see this now?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I'm a team guy, so so the human touch would matter tremendously, especially in the times of where AI adoption has to go to the next level, and mastering AI would be call of the hour for each one of us, especially on the call. So the amazing opportunities, because you could bridge the gap, because the gap is going to expand, where so much to be delivered, so much to be done, but the right capability, right skills, that would be in huge demand. I can just give you the witness right here that it's somebody who's working in a project environment versus who's not working in the project environment. You can see the difference in the package, especially in US. It's almost more than 40% difference actually in the salary packages. And PMI put this thing together. The opportunity which are in front of us, 90 million to 25 millions. Today, from 90 million to additional 25 million people would be required in project management space. They are adding 2.3 million jobs every year. And this gap is going to be widened, especially with a big employee, the expansion going on, and a lot of people are retiring, especially in the mature economies. So I think that the opportunity is really, really big. So it's not only me which is talking about it. Look at World Economic Forum. So I wanted to have your attention here in 2015 to 2020 and 2025. So if you could notice that complex problem solving was #1 skill in demand, which kept its position in 5 years later also. But in 2025, can you imagine that #1 skill has dropped to number 3 now? What happened to #1 and #2 then? So analytical thinking and innovation has taken #1. And I was shocked. I was not shocked actually, because I was living this when this report came out. I was sharpening my saw, because active learning and learning strategies has taken #2. And please remember, leadership and social skills and social influence is one of the top skills, one of the top 10 skills as we move forward. So guys, get ready, get charged. And I wanted to talk about real perspective of no matter which domain you are in healthcare, defense, manufacturing, automobile, no matter what, you would be seeing the impact of generative AI when we talk about project management. So on the x-axis, please walk with me. On the x-axis, we have, as we move from origin, you have machines to human. And on vertical, you see from low to high, it's on the complexity side of any initiative, any task. So when we talk about machine and low complexity, that's where most jobs would be replaced actually. If you happen to just collocating the notes in the minutes of the meeting, report generation, and lessons learned summary and stuff, of course, you would be impacted because Chat GPT or Copilot would be able to do this without any effort actually. It will compile, which I will show you very shortly. When you talk about moving the value chain towards human, and then of course, more complex things like large data set analysis, cost and schedule estimation, cost benefit analysis, especially risk management. I think the data would come on the dashboard by these tools. They will assist you, but then it is you who has to take the call. You have to take the tough decisions for your organization, tough decision for your portfolio, tough decision for your program benefit realization, tough decision for what got executed. Does it deliver the value for a customer or not? I think that's where the real value will come. So as I move forward, I will share with you some samples, but let me just walk you through a scenario, and very shortly I will come back to this. So power of three will be your assistant, will be your person to go, especially when you automate, because it boosts your efficiency, it reduces your errors, it streamlines your workflows. How will it assist you? Provides data when you need it, and with the data, deep insights, so that you get visibility, insights, and control about your project, program, and portfolios. It optimizes the resource allocation. It will offer the proactive support. You are doing something, it will give you 10 other options. Have you looked at this aspect, or have you looked at this aspect? I think those would be other things which are possible. So, and also augment the whole process by bringing collaborative effort from various people. So enhanced capabilities, foster collaboration, and drives continuous improvement. And that's the power. So when all this is around the corner, so what does the future holds for us? So this slide had been with me for almost 10 years, and I love this thing. And the best way to predict your future is to create it. So let's do this. And the global opportunities are huge. Global problems are big. Of course, when you see the problem, I look at it a little differently. There are three categories of problems which are the humanity is facing today. Of course, man-made, which are gender equalization, of course, security related. Then there are production or supply chain side of problems, food or energy and things like that. And then, of course, climate, what is impacting the whole world. So imagine the potential. We all have to solve these mega problems. So how would you do that? And I have a magic stick to this and magic band of 3 C's. And that band is about make right choice using portfolio mindset and portfolio capabilities in automation today. I got my PfMP in 2015. That gave the perspective, but now we have the tools to do this, right? Take chance, prioritization, risk and reward go hand in hand, right? Because one side there's a risk, another side is a reward, but then you have to own that responsibility. That's the 3R formula. R for risk, R for reward, and R for responsibility. But responsibility with the right tool, education, and learning, because you can incorporate that wisdom into your decision making. And of course, make the change. And that's what you all are, change makers. With the mission mode mindset, you can really deliver the business value which the whole world is waiting for, especially at a time. And if you look at, do you know what is the amount of money being spent on projects in the whole world? Can you guess what is the number? How much money? Can you give a number? What is the size of the project economy in the world? Project economy. I'm looking for some numbers, guys. India is aiming to be $5 trillion economy. Any number? Globally. Anybody? Answers? Okay. So the number is $48 trillion. $48 $48 trillion. But how many projects deliver the value? What is the percentage? Percentage of successful project, program, and portfolio implementations. The real value out of $48 billion. Any percentage comes to your mind? Anybody, guys? What is the number? So I get 25% of global GDP. Khalid, Ahmad Saab, Khan Saab, I think gentleman is dialing from Lahore, Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Janab. And then we have, by the way, only 35% deliver the business value. So imagine you were able to justify on that other 65%, most problems of the planet would disappear with a magic band. If you deliver the value of with the 3C formula, make the right choice on the portfolio, take the chance of getting it done, and get the mindset of doing it correctly, correct ways, right? So what does it mean? It means that the challenge for the global leaders is, of course, short-term and long-term challenges are there. Technology is changing the world. Technology is bringing a huge amount of change. We are struggling. It's like this. You are trying to drink water out of the hose. And that's what is this problem with every single leader in the world today. But there's a way to solve this problem also, by the way. I see this as an opportunity. So what we look at is portfolio, which could be managed by managing programmatically, but making sure that every project is delivering the business value. So this is the mindset which we need to carry. So that's why Upbuild Academy has been created. This is our first webinar. And I will share some news as towards the end of the session. I will ask Shahrukh, actually, the gentleman who's leading this academy from the front, especially he's based out of India. We will talk about something very shortly. The lead diverse teams, that's a challenge. Of course, reskill, upskill. We have our mission built in our mandate, actually, and attract and retain the talent. So for that, we have created, of course, 3-level certifications are there, but our motto is, our focus is upskill, upbuild, and uplift you. And the only thing is that, are we ready to face that? So we have come up with a concept called the experiential learning platform and lab in the virtual setting, which will give you better value even in-person classes, because I was a huge fan of doing 3,000 workshops in more than 25 countries, trained 100,000 people. Believe me, this power of AI, generative AI, clubbed with the opportunity on hand, with the global collaboration and learning from each other across the globe, gives the wonderful opportunity for all of us to share the wisdom which we all carry. So if you're 0 to 5 years experience, go through this thing, go learn in this environment, get your CAPM, the most sought after certification. That's your entry level. If you are just graduated from college, this is the go-to certification. Then of course, those people who have more than 5 years of experience must go for PMP. I'm sure on the call, there are a lot of people. Mr. Khan Saab is also teaching a lot of people in Pakistan. I know that for sure. And a lot of other people on the call are teaching this certification for almost, I've been teaching, as I said, 25 years now. But this is coming more than 10 years of experience. But I wanted to take this little small, take you on a ride, and let me show you. Suppose you are a new, fresh employee in a company which is going through digital transformation. AI is being talked about. Chairman says, hey guys, let's look at AI, but I want to have you go through that. You have the right capability, you have right skill. So I'm going to take this certification prompt, which I picked it up from PMI. Actually, they have given certain tools. So let me just walk you through, and I'm going to share on the Zoom call, especially. So I'm going to share a screen share again, and I'm jumping onto my friend these days. It's Explorer. and I'm going to take my prompt actually from this particular the prompt which I copy pasted, which we would not be able to see, but I will be picking up, and then I am right here. Can you guys see this screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm going to get your friend. It's called Copilot. By the way, you must have seen that I must have drawn few things, and this I'm using for a lot of stuff these days. So what I'm asking, hey, you are a new employee in the company, you aspire to a project manager, manage large programs, you have to set up a center of excellence for artificial intelligence using the power of generative AI, project management, and change management. So I'm going to ask this prompt asking, so look at this. I'm a project manager exploring certifications and would like to compare CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management. And then, of course, CAPM, ACP, PMP, PGMP, PfMP, and all sorts of certifications. So can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what is the duration? How much will it cost? Give me all sorts of information on this certification. So let's see what results we get, so hopefully it will give me some results. Yeah, it's working. It's going through the, it's scrolling the web right now. It's going all over the places just to create this beautiful outcome for you guys. And PMI certification comparison chart. They have done a wonderful job in putting this thing together. So those people who will have so many queries after this session is done that, hey, I'm thinking of getting certified in CAPM, ACP, PMP, PGMP. What is that average study time, exam length, membership price, non-membership price, and what kind of requirement does it have? So you can imagine. So now once this is done, I could have, guys, this was mind-blowing when I saw this thing first time. And I prepared a program actually for transforming lives of 5,000 defense people in India who were just retiring, because 40,000, or at the age of 40 in India, defense people are generally asked to leave the job. But I was trying to reinstate them back into workplace. 5,000 people with going through the program, and I ChatGPT and this invention generative AI came for rescue for me to put this program together. It was just amazing experience. Now that this is ready, you have a couple of options right here. You could have a couple of options here. What I could do is either I could share it's part of my virtual session, or represent this. By the way, it pulled out all sorts of even document from different parts, different places, PMI.org, PMI.org. Of course, you see that because it's been prepared by PMI. So you see that. So I could have right here present to you guys that what does it really means, what I'm trying to do. So let's see if this works. Tell me if you're able to hear. It's doing its job. It's the job, my assistant is on.
Certainly. Here's a comparison chart of the PMI certifications you're interested in, along with a compelling case for your employer. PMI certification comparison chart. Certification prerequisites average.
Yes, we can hear.
Study time, exam length, member price, non-member price, PDUs to maintain. CAPM secondary degree, 23 hours of project management education varies 3 hours, 150 questions, $225, $300, 15 PDUs every 3 years. ACP secondary degree, 21 contact hours.
Guys, you got an idea, right? What will it do? Now, if I want to send this document to my leadership team, guess what I'm going to do is just convert it into PDF. Guess what? Wow. All that is right here. And this is ready to be shipped out. Of course, since collates the document, and if you want to edit it, of course, you could have saved in Microsoft Word document. So this is the power of especially of this particular this thing. So now what I would like to do is another, probably go back to my previous query. Let's. So you are able to So you saw it, right? Now, what I wanted to do is, okay. So what are you seeing on the screen right now, guys, just to be on the safe side?
As of now, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I would like to go back to my co-pilot again. And that is, let's see if I can show you a demonstration of a few other items, especially as a project manager, what options you have in order to, let's look at screen share. And I would like to go back to new tab. Okay. So are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
What do you see?
Microsoft Start.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go back again here and see my friend here. That's called Copilot. All right. So now that you asked me and I got my PMP certification, now I am chartered to manage a project, which is AI. Upendra is being asked to create a project charter, because that's what we do at the very first process of the initiation of a project charter for AI adoption in Reliance, for example. That's the company I work for. Reliance Insurance, for example, okay, for their digital transformation. Help him create the charter. All right. So this is the prompt which I gave. Of course, I could have been a little more fancy on creating this prompt, but you got an idea. What could it do for us? So look at this one. So it's creating a project charter for AI adoption in Reliance Insurance Company. So imagine, just imagine, when we do 5 process groups, 10 knowledge areas, and each knowledge area would have an artifact to be created. Suppose to do a successful project, depending on the size and complexity, you would be creating different artifacts. So every artifact would have a weightage. I can ask the why project fail. It might give 10 reasons. I say, why? What is the weightage for each reason why the project failed? It will guide me that because of this project might fail. My emphasis would be more on those areas which I can bulletproof my project success. And that's the possibility the world would be witnessing with the invent of generative AI now. So by the way, this is again another opportunity which you got. So right here, you see in front of your eyes, the project charter has been created. So there would be enormous amount of data which can be created. I'm going to go back to my slide because I'm probably running a little late, but I will catch up on this one. So stop share here. I'm going to go back to my screen once again. The screen. Okay. Right. So are you able to see, guys?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Certifications prompt.
Yes. Okay. And so this is the prompt which I used, right? Let's move on. Our difference in PMI Gold certification. I know there would be a whole bunch of people who would give you this training and certification, the journey. But The difference is, what if you don't feel in your body, you can't keep it in your body, you can't deliver. So the thought stay in your head, the feeling comes in your body, and action happen by your hand. So we have tried to collaborate the power of 3H, the power of 3H, head, heart, and hand. And that's one aspect of this. It's called think, feel model, think, feel, act model. We leverage the power of that. We also leverage the power of being in stay in the flow state. Flow state is nothing but when Sachin Tendulkar is playing and he's at peak of his career and he is hitting century and sixer after sixer, you try to stop him. You cannot. And that's the power of flow. And we are bringing this innovation put together with Microsoft, where you would be able to leverage the power of all these technologies available, supported by generative AI, so that you experience as you are thinking, analyzing, getting the feedback. So 3F formula again. I'm so much about threes, by the way. 3F formula: focus, flow, and feedback based. And that's what, so focus, flow, and feedback. So this is our lab, which we are creating, as this is in inception as we speak. So you could literally see that how can the journey would be so enormous, guys. So you go through our PMI, our Upbuild Academy workshop, which would be like 34 contact hours for PMP, for example, online training, or it could be in person also. We will give you a certificate, which is a world-class certificate, which this is called PME, Project Management Expert, which will allow you to get your 35 contact hours of training. And then you go to PMI, of course, with that certification, because you are qualified to not only pass the PMP, but really rock the world in the real world with the power of generative AI, because you are skilled, you are equipped with that capability now. So you have power of PMP certification and power of learning, experience learning with us, and the world-class facilities. World-class facilities, world-class faculties coming together to create a fortune for you. 3F again: faculties, facilities, and fortune for you, right? And that's what I feel. There's so much to be offered. So with that, this is what fortune which you want to go for. And PMI says that guaranteed, I think, 25% incremental we have seen, witness with the certifications, and your choices now to make. And these are the people who really, this is the guru actually, this gentleman, Mr. Ram Charan. Ram Charan happens to be one of the greatest leaders of the world. I met him when he was interviewing Larry Page. Larry and I, we spoke for some time, and you would not believe. And these people have, because from vision to execution, he's the guy in the world. He wrote a book called Execution, the Discipline of Getting Things Done. If you really want to learn execution, this book must read. This Discipline of Getting Things Done. He's, of course, I had very humble discussion with him, at Fortune magazine event, and it was right here in Silicon Valley when I came back. So I know that in the slide there are two people known for, two people you would see that what is the work happening in the world. One is a strategy architect, another is an execution architect. And so he's a master of execution, Mr. Nitin Gadkari Saab. I had a privilege to meet him 3-4 times, and he's using actually in my invention, which I solved the greatest problem of the planet, because my Henry Ford left to problem scrap tires, which I solved for earning my master's degree 32 years back on environmental problem actually. So those inventions are being used in the highways, especially in India. So I met with him. I'm not just a guy teaching project management. I really implement, I really use technology for better, greater good in the world. So I'm sure you have your own favorite in this particular picture, right? So what I would advise, I would ask for you guys that the way I said Ram Charan for strategy, can you write what comes to your mind? Nitin Gadkari for execution. What comes to your mind when you look at Oprah Winfrey, when you look at Ratan Tata, when you look at Bill Gates? So could you, suppose these are in the sequence, 1, Oprah, 2nd, Ratan Tata, 3rd is Bill Gates, then APJ 4th, Larry Page 5, and CK Prahlad 6. If these are the numbers, can you give a word? Can you give a word? What these guys inspire you for? One single word. And I want to get this answer. And I'm very, very excited to see the response. So could you write a word for number 1? What comes to your mind? Number 2, Ratan Tata, what comes to your mind? Number 3, Bill Gates, what comes to your mind? And APJ, number 4, and Larry Page, 5, and CK Prahlad. You know, CK Prahlad and I spent 3 nights in Lahore, Pakistan, when we managed Project Memo Day with Khan Saab. Khan Saab, you are there. If you remember, there was a huge event in 2005, which we were able to collaborate with your team, Lahore chapter, and we were able to organize this event. Wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. And my prompt, I'm sure you have your own answers, but I wanted to share what the prompt I gave to ChatGPT, and that's the answer, or Copilot actually, those are the answer I got, by the way. So I'm sure you want to see that actually, because I'm using ChatGPT and these things for literally everything, because that has become part of me now. So make sure guys, you choose your friends, choose people you hang out with, because that's going to be next, my last slide. So the future is ours for the making. But in this journey, you choose your partners, you choose your companions, you choose that people who will transform. And that the reason why I'm saying, because those people will influence your thought, because your thought become your word become your actions, and your actions become your habit, and your habit becomes the character, and the character defines who you're gonna be down the road. This is your friend Upendra Giri. You must have probably seen, but I wanted to share some of the resources which I probably used to do my research. But foremost happens to be TiECon 2024. I spent a lot of time talking to leaders worldwide. And with that, and of course, Copilot, Microsoft, and PMI, these had been pillars for me. Each one of them had been pillars for me for 25 years. There's another organization which I have not mentioned here. That's my patriotism and my richness, which I stay connected with my roots. That's my village, that's my India, and that's Pravasi Bharati Divas, that's India's diaspora. That's where I get so much, because in the fruit would be so rich with so much sweet. Now, it can only come from the roots itself. So with that, that's my content so far, guys. And I'm sorry if I went a little over time, but there were a couple of glitches, because I generally use Microsoft Team. This particular tool, of course, is so I'm going to stop right here, and we can take up the any questions you might have. But before I do that, I will ask Shahrukh to share what he has to offer, and I declare from this diet itself for those select few, because this is going to be our first batch. It's the inaugural batch, and we would have something especially offer for those people who want to go through this immersion. The first cohort will start first week of June. Those people, especially the girl child, is very near and dear to my heart. We will have very special program for them. People who are the children of defense people, we would have a lot of goodies for them. And we would also have especially people coming from rural India, and rural, not only in India, worldwide. If you come from, you can't afford education, we would have some goodies for you as well. So with that, I will request Shahrukh to intervene and share word of wisdom, and then I will be honored to take any questions might be there. So we will try and see if the questions can be coming, and I could probably speak to those questions.
Yeah, probably I think, Upen sir, we can take up all the questions that the audience have, and then I'll be discussing about all the offerings that we have with us, along with the scholarships and the discount offers. So guys, I would request you, this is a very great opportunity for all of you to ask away all the questions that you have around whatever was discussed today in the webinar. Mr. Upendra will be happy to take all the questions, and post that we will be discussing about what are the course offerings that we have with us currently. You can just type in all the questions that you have over the Q&A, which is there on your Zoom portal. I'll also present my screen while we are taking all those questions. I'll also present my screens and will also display the course offerings.
So one of the question is by Gabriel. Gabriel, am I audible? Yeah. So the question is, I want to ask, does AI and AGI were developed by OpenAI, and same for, is it, so of course, artificial intelligence is not a new thing. It's probably more than 3 decades old, but artificial AGI, which is more on the generative AI side of things, which came as which was Microsoft actually put together a lot of effort into this, and they are still coming with the new inventions. So watch out. There were a lot of nomenclature will be thrown on you. So it's continuous evolution. In fact, I am watching my inboxes every minute, what new releases are coming from different providers in the world. So it's an exciting time because I want to look from the perspective of project management community. Of course, that's what it is, So I think there are a lot of people who have provided feedback. I'm just trying to see if there could be the question out there. So this poll has been, there's a poll right now, right?
Yes, a poll is going on.
Okay.
There are questions which are being asked. Dr. Avi Doda, he's asking, I'm a dentist, how AI can help me?
You know what? AI has so much power to offer to, especially when your heart start, imagine that, you are sitting, I'm a dentist chair, for example. So now AI could have very sophisticated, cameras and take the cup. In fact, at Pravasi Bharati Divas, I met this guy who were looking at the images which were created through the camera, and they were looking at setting up a factory to create the dentures in a factory setting. So they were exporting those dentures across the globe. So you can imagine this could be, the precision level could be increased by adoption of artificial intelligence. And of course, there are much more to be done. Of course, this is like, for example, for us, in order to throw this workshop together, there's so much work to be done. Of course, AI can't be just that you read a couple of articles and things like that. You need to spend time with the expert who know the technology inside out. So the people who create LLMs and hardcore technology, you have to sit with them, you have to work with them and develop this solution for your specific industry. But I can tell you, the opportunities are enormous and there's no looking back. So if you want to thrive, if you want to survive in the domain which you are servicing, the industry which you are in, you need to start collaborating the people who are providers of those technologies and work with them. We decided to work with Microsoft because Microsoft had been the backbone for me for the last 25 years. And in the project management space, we will definitely bring the revolution for sure.
Mr. Faridi is asking, can you give a use case in your own personal experience which has increased your productivity 3 times, as you mentioned?
You know what? Because I'm a guy who creates content, Mr. Faridi, who would know better than me, who's, by the way, Mr. Faridi runs a company and they are the leaders who bring the latest earth moving equipment and they help them to get their market share in India. So imagine that if you were to talk about the product literacy about the new product for their consumers could be increased tremendously. So I personally, I'm able to create content with my insight and wisdom. I'm able to put my 30 years of experience. So nobody can take my 30 years experience, by the way, but the 30 years had multiplied my outcome. So what I used to do in a week time, I'm able to do that in a 1 day time, by the way. So that's the power that's the power which I'm able to see and leverage.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Giri, for this very insightful session. I'll take it on from here. And I'm sure the audience got an amazing experience with all the insights that you provided them around AI and project management and how they can enhance their overall productivity and also their career growth. Thanks a lot once again for being with us. And we'll make sure that we are doing these sessions regularly so that our audiences keep getting these valuable insights.
Shahrukh, sorry to interrupt, but because this particular webinar authorizes you to earn your 1 PDU. PDUs are the certification, the credentials or credits which you need to report to maintain your PMP or PGMP or PfMP. My PfMP is coming for renewal because I got in 2015. So you guys will be blessed with 1 PDU and this certificate will be mailed to you. So please put that in the request because it would not go to every one of you because we don't know who those people are who have their certifications already. For those people who want to maintain their certifications, please put in the chat box and give your email address so that we can send your certificate. And the way you want to see your name being spelled. So spell your name properly and we will be able to mail your certificate back to you.
Thanks a lot once again, Mr. Giri. We hope to have you in upcoming webinars soon. Thanks a lot for being with us. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed the session, but now let us come to the very important part of the session where we are going to be discussing with you about the course offerings which are being provided currently by